Hello, Victoria.
Hi, how are you, Karen?
Good. It's just the two of us today because why? Because I forgot to post the event anywhere. I created the Zoom registration link and stopped there.
And you know what? That means that we get this quality time together, which is absolutely amazing. And I didn't even put on my makeup this morning. So I
Oh,
just
you're
I just came,
glowing anyway.
thank you. I just came from a beautiful walk in nature and I feel
Mm,
refreshed and I'm so happy to see you. You
I'm
look,
happy to see you too.
how's your week been?
I can't believe it's Friday. The days are just zooming by lately, and I get to the end of the week and I'm like, oh my gosh, the end of the week is here already. It's crazy.
And so, what a beautiful segue. I believe the last time we talked, we were talking about whether or not you were catching the angel train. And for
Mm,
our listeners, the angel train is something that Marcy Shimoff recommends in Happy for No Reason, this wonderful course curriculum that we coach. And that is going to bed at least once a week before 10 p.m. She calls the
hmm
angel train going to sleep before 10 p.m. So, did you do that?
Will say I did do it at least once for sure. And so just to pull back the curtain a little bit, I, one thing I've noticed about myself in particular, and I think that this is pretty common, is like the steps to change are so much smaller than I thought. And so, it's not this like, okay, I've drawn a line in the sand. I mean, sometimes that happens, let's be real, but more commonly and more sustainably, really, the steps are much smaller than that. And so I have my life experience most of my life until I had children. I was a night person. I would stay out till all hours and fall asleep whenever I fell asleep and wake up to an alarm. And I cursed the alarm every morning. But since I had kids, my clock shifted. And when I started my health journey, at one point I realized how much those late night hours were really hurting me in terms of the quality of my mood and how hungry I felt and everything. And um, so I just like I'm just gonna let myself fall asleep. I would often fall asleep with the kids and then wake up again. And so I just started and I would be annoyed because I was still in my clothes from the day and then I felt gross. And so I would at one point I'm like, I'm just gonna get ready for bed. I go to sleep, I go to sleep. Right. And so I started a much more consistent early bedtime at that time. And it made such a difference. So I have this experience of knowing how it feels both ways, but my natural tendency is to be kind of a night owl. And so as my kids have gotten older, I've reverted to that a little bit. And so I'm trying to pull it back. But this time I don't have some of the boundaries, the external boundaries that were keeping me in place before. And so I have to really work on creating what I need to do to do what I want to do. It's just, the whole thing, right? How do I make myself do what I actually want to do? Which sounds crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, and part of that is actually pre-deciding, making that decision that on these days, I am going to do this. And so
Hmm
putting the wheels in motion ahead of time, and by making that pre-decision, you're giving yourself a command and then following it. It's a lot easier to do it. And we know too that using our schedule is an incredible way of actually
hmm
fulfilling the promises that we make to ourselves. But one of the things that you said that was so lovely, and I would love you to expand on it a bit more, is you said it wasn't as complicated as you thought it was going to be. It was taking smaller steps. So, are you able to elaborate on that a bit more?
Yeah, so I'm really trying to slow down and, practice what I preach, which is slow down and really look at what's going on, the specifics. Because I think a lot of my own suffering has come from feeling like I should be able to do something faster or better.
Mhm.
And even as something as simple as just go to bed. Like, what's the big deal? Just go to bed. But getting specific is really helpful because I have a couple of evening commitments 2 or 3 times a week that are pretty steady. And so on those nights, honestly, 10 p.m. is not realistic. And so what does it look like really? What am I really committing to? And then instead of feeling like bad, like, oh, I have this late night thing and it's messing up my sleep schedule, my desired sleep schedule, I can, one of them is my choir practice. And it's like, and so instead of feeling bad about that in some way, I can just be like, okay, this is the way it is on
Hmm.
Tuesday nights and something I really enjoy. And so now there's no, if I have a plan for that or I've acknowledged that, there's no emotional weight, if that makes sense. Like no guilt
Hmm.
about or resistance to the fact that I stay up a little later those nights.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You're giving yourself permission in your schedule for those things that you've already committed to that you love doing.
Mhm.
And on top of that, allowed in your schedule the potential days when you can go to bed early and no should shedding in the middle, right? Like, no.
Yes. I love the should. I don't love the should shed, but I love the expression.
I love saying it because it's like when you say the should shed, it's like, oh yeah, I'm putting myself in a box. Oh yeah, why would I limit
Yes.
myself like that? Why would I? Like the
Yes.
sky's the limit. Why would I actually put myself in this should box? So yeah,
Yeah.
well done, Karen. That's awesome. It's
And I
awesome.
want to celebrate you. We could probably talk all day, I think, Victoria, but I want to celebrate you because you had a big dream achieved this week.
I'm so grateful and shout out to our relationship, Karen. We both graduated in July of 2024. We have been showing up online in person coaching. And yeah, this week we showed up online on Zoom, right? And this week I showed up in person teaching a beautiful group of 16 seniors all in a room together
Wow.
who we sat down, talked about their intention, and they each want to attract more joy into their lives. They're fully committed to embracing new happiness habits. And we had the best class ever. It was so, so fun. And one of the things I want to talk about in regards to that is, when we became certified, I think we probably had the expectation that we were going to go out of the gate and start coaching immediately and building this amazing happy for no reason community and just start doing all the things like right away, right? And one of the things that I love in my awareness of my dream achieved this week is we're not in charge of the gestation period. We're not in charge of
Mm,
even the how, but as long as we're consistently showing up, consistently taking our baby steps, we do get there. We do accomplish what it is that we would love to accomplish when we're holding on to the vision
mm,
of it. In my mind, I had written that letter, that email to Kim when I was going through my certification, is I want to teach this to seniors in my community.
mm.
So that's what I did this week. And I get another
Yay.
8 weeks with them. My cohort is 9 weeks long, and I'm committed to 3 semesters. So, so
Yay. I love that you're spreading emotional contagion in the best way. That's beautiful.
good. And what pleasure, right? What pleasure to have people come in feeling reticent, feeling kind of a little bit grumpy or reserved or,
Mm,
contracted, even contracted and crunchy, and to leave feeling expansive, feeling opportunity, possibility, and positivity, not in any Pollyanna way, right? And we're
mhm,
not denying ourselves our feelings. We're not denying ourselves the fact that, sometimes life throws us a curveball. We're going to feel the
mhm,
ebbs and lows. But to know that we can raise our happiness set point, and it's simply by changing the way we're showing up in the simple things, the habits, like committing to one night a week to taking the angel train, to a 1 minute moment of being aware of your breath, of doubling down on your gratitudes, like whatever it is, it's all possible to all of us all the time.
mhm. Yeah. Love it. I'm
Love
in.
it too. Woo!
Well, this has been fun. And so we'll be back in 2 weeks, which will be looking at the calendar. It will be May 22nd, which is Memorial Day weekend. Are you in for Memorial Day for us? Not in Canada, but here in
Yes,
the
it's a
US. Do you
weekend.
have?
It's the weekend after Victoria Day weekend for us Canadians.
Okay.
And yes, I'm absolutely in.
Oh,
And I
wait,
wanted to,
sorry, I made a mistake. Today's the first, so it's actually May 15th is our next one. So
right,
is
so
that
that
is
is
that
the
is that okay for
Victoria.
you?
Yeah, and it is the Victoria Day weekend. I can make that Friday. But one of the things I wanted to say before we hang up is for those who have watched this video, we really invite you to engage in the Facebook page. Just send us words of how you're doing, how you're showing up for you, even if it is taking a moment that is the difference between reaction to response, taking the moment where you regulated your nervous system to move from stress, to move from that feeling of, oh, into, in this moment, I am safe. Like, we want to
Hmm.
celebrate that with you because this is what we're doing. We're showing up in exactly the same way. We're doing and using the same tips and tools.
Hmm.
And so
I
let
love
us
that
know.
yeah, sorry, Victor. I love that we get to do that. Like, because sometimes there's so much wisdom out there, right? And, be grateful. Okay. Okay, understood. But then what does that really look like in real life? What does that shift really look and feel like? And it may be different for different people, but we get to really kind of zoom in on that. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah. And we love hearing people's stories because every story is different and every story can inspire someone else because we're not alone in this journey. We're all in it together and let's have more happiness.
Yay. All right. Well, we'll leave it there and we'll be back with the Happiness Hangout on May 15th. But don't be afraid to, as Victoria said, post in the Facebook group. Let us know how you're doing. It doesn't need to be, we're not about the toxic positivity. So be honest, be authentic to yourself wherever you are. And let's, work toward being a little bit happier all together.
Yes, we love
All
that.
right.
And thank you so much for watching our video.
Bye.
Bye.